Welcome in, Leroy. How you doing?
Good, my friend. How are you today?
Well, we're here, right? Isn't that all we need to ask for? It's a
That's
Wednesday
true.
night. It's a Wednesday night, and we're here on from the press box. That's really all that we need.
Yes, from the press box brought to you by StreamYard.
Does it say that? Yeah,
StreamYard
I need to.
sponsoring us now.
Yeah, I need to figure out why it's now doing that because I pay money to not have them do that. So I don't know as to why they're actually doing that. I noticed that on Jungle Juice earlier, and there's got to be some setting that I don't know. I don't know. I wish that they were paying for it. I mean, listen, if they want to sponsor the show, I'll give them a shout out every single week if I get my subscription for free.
Every single week.
Right? I mean, listen, we'll do just about anything if somebody wants to sponsor this. I mean, I'm not sure that there's much that we wouldn't do, right? But yeah, no, it's been a weirdly busy past couple of days, like as far as in the sports world.
Sports-wise, it's been a really busy week. Really busy week this week.
So for one, obviously the biggest news is, the NFL schedule just came out.
Is that the biggest news
2 hours
this week?
ago? I'm saying tonight. That's the biggest news
okay.
today.
I was going to say, there's been some pretty big news that's dropped this week.
And then obviously the Pete Rose stuff is big too. And I think those are probably the two biggest stories of the week, right?
I mean, the NBA had a pretty rigged draft. We can talk about that.
Did they? Are you going to be full conspiracy theorist here?
When do I ever get conspiracy theory around here?
When do you not? Right? So, okay, so there you go. Those are our three big stories of the week. Which one is your favorite? Which one do you want to talk about first then?
Well, you already brought up the NFL draft, so we can talk about the mockery that is.
The NFL draft?
No, I meant the schedule.
Oh, the schedule. So I guess we start off with the NFL schedule. Do you not like this? Is this not something that you're excited about by any stretch?
Of course I don't like this. Listen, the social media videos are cute. They're fun. I enjoy the social media videos. But my goodness, do we have to monetize every single thing that we do around here?
Yes.
Yeah, I know, Sam. I know. Would you stop for like 5 seconds? Isn't that a little bit too much?
I don't know. I kind of like it. But it's also, to me, it's fun because I like that now we can sit there. And for me, it's probably a little different because I'm a season ticket holder. So I now can go, okay, that's nice. I can do that game. And then, Mick and I have made the pact that we're going to try to go to one game a year. So we're looking, and the one that we've been going for is Green Bay, is our hope, is the game that we were going to go to. But, oh, yeah, Bert, that's not going to happen. I'll tell you.
That's funny.
But the one that we were wanting to do was Green Bay. But apparently Mick can't do that weekend. Excuses. So now we're looking at maybe Minnesota.
Oh,
maybe that's the one that we're considering, going to Minneapolis. Watch the Bengals and the Vikings.
They have a beautiful stadium.
It's newer. 10 years old? Maybe not even.
I don't even think it's that old. It might be close. Next year it might be close to that, but
I know it's pretty close. It's one of the newer stadiums. But I mean, and then it was nice that, when you look at the Bengals schedule, that they get back-to-back bye weeks in early November. I mean, they don't have to play on November 2nd, get a bye week that day, and then the week after that they get a bye week as well. Yeah, it's nice that the NFL gave them a bye week back-to-back weeks. It's nice that they did that.
Man. What are you doing on that November 2nd since you have a bye week?
Well, I still feel like I'm going to go sit at Paycor, maybe take a nap because But I was looking. So, we've talked November 2nd, you free?
I immediately looked to see what date that game was, to see if there's a way that we can figure out if I can make it. And I think we might be able to make this work.
Because I was looking, and the seats in front of us for our season tickets, they're open. So it might be something that we might have to just consider. So for doing that, for the Bengals and the Bears, they're in early November. But the Bears schedule came out as well, and I'm going to be honest with you, this is the first time I'm looking at it. There it is. Bang.
I hate the early bye week, man. I hate the early bye week.
Oh, so that's a week 5 bye? That is early.
I hate it.
It is very early. So primetime, what did you get primetime wise?
The Vikings game, Monday Night Football, right off the bat. The Commanders game is also a primetime game. I hate primetime games after because I've gone a whole week without watching football, and then I have to wait a whole nother day where I can't watch football. I hate primetime games after that. I think that might be the only ones that we have are those two. I'd have to double check. There might be a Sunday. Yeah, so there might be a Sunday evening game, but
the Bengals get at Denver on the 29th. They host the city near West Virginia on Thursday night. They go to Miami in late December on a Sunday night. And then for the fourth straight year, the Bengals have to play the Ravens on the road in primetime.
What's your record in those? What's your record in those three?
Not important. Here's the stat for you. Since 2019, the Cincinnati Bengals, this will be their 8th road primetime divisional game they've played. In that same stretch, Baltimore has played 1. The Bengals now, this will be another 1:00 game against the Ravens on a Sunday, whereas the Ravens get them for the 4th straight year on a primetime, and that's Thanksgiving night, which I don't love. Don't love it.
Yeah, the Bears have to play the Packers like twice in the span of like 3 weeks.
So do the Bengals. So the Bengals play the Ravens. They go at Baltimore, at Buffalo, home Baltimore. And yeah, you go Packers, Browns, Packers.
Yeah, I'm just not thrilled. I don't like that. I know sometimes they don't have a choice in that stuff, but man, I dislike playing the two teams pretty much back to back.
At least you get a Browns in there, which you would assume would probably be a win.
Yeah, no Browns or Saints on Monday Night Football. I'm sure Mel Kiper's kicking himself that making a bunch of calls. The Shador's not going to have a primetime slot. What are we doing?
You happy now? You proud of yourself? You feel good?
Absolutely not.
I mean, I enjoy this, though, because, like I said, we go through and we figure out now which game are we going to go to. The other one that we were looking at is, okay, Bengals right before Christmas in Miami. Could that be fun? Yeah. I'm trying to get Mick. To me, the best game on this schedule is December the 7th at Buffalo. But Mick is terrified of the snow. He's like, what if it snows?
Really?
Is he really? He's more of just, what if it snows? Figure it out. Like, I think that'd be a really fun game to go to. But
Christie's convinced the tornadoes going to hit our house and only our house every time that there's even severe weather in Illinois. So,
of course it will. I mean, that's how it works, right?
Making a beeline right for the house.
Yeah. The Mavericks, though, apparently it's rigged.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you genuinely believe that?
Listen, don't you find it awfully coincidental? Don't you find it awfully coincidental what has happened with this? Because I know I do. Listen, the Cavs win the lotto immediately after LeBron leaves. The Pelicans win the lotto after the CP3 trade. Pelicans win the lotto again immediately after the AD trade. And the Mavs win it immediately after the Luka trade. By the way, the Mavs had a 1.3% chance of getting the number 1 pick. 1.3.
It's not 0. I don't know.
Am I salty? Am I salty that coin flip is the only reason the Bulls can't get Cooper Flag? Absolutely.
Where are they picking?
Absolutely. 12th.
Are
always
they really?
12th.
I love it.
Always right in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Not good enough to make the playoffs, but not good enough to get a player that's actually going to help you.
Every year. And then we get to listen to our wonderful ownership sit there and go, well, we've made some steps in the right direction and we're moving forward. Are you? Are you moving forward? That's also, as long as we're talking about like off my chest and rigged and all of this other stuff.
You're on one tonight.
I'm just going to keep on going. I know that our love and I know that our love and obsession of college basketball knows no bounds. But I have to laugh at all of these dorky little tournaments that happen in the fall before basketball, where they put up like this golf picture. It's like a golf, like the Outlaws of Maui or whatever. Some stupid dorky name that they put of the Invitational. It's all these teams that get brought out to the tournament that takes place in like the Caribbean or, you know, Puerto Rico or whatever. My goodness, do we have to really make this all look like a fancy country club when we set up these tournament games? Good grief.
I mean, like Western's playing at the Atlantis this coming year.
Yes.
You're telling me you don't want to go to the Atlantis? You're telling me if Todd Stewart called you right now and said, Leroy, I got you 2 tickets to stay the week at the Atlantis with your wife?
I'm not saying that. Listen, I'm all
here's the thing. If you'd say no, I think that door would open back there and you'd probably get smacked in the back of your head by one Christy. I don't know if she's still in the room or not.
It's starting to become, everything's starting to become a big production. That's why I don't like. I don't like the whole, pretty soon it's going to be that way. You know, we already have Selection Sunday, but it's going to be on this day, we'll get all the number 1 seeds. Then on this day, we'll get all the number 2 seeds through 8 seeds, brought to you by blah, 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 brought to you by Johnson & Johnson. And then the next week, we'll get the 9 through 5. I don't like the direction that's headed. We are trying to make a commercial production out of every single thing that happens sports-wise. And it gets a little bit too much, even for a guy who loves sports. And listen, the sport that I love the most has the most sponsorships, period. My sport would not survive without sponsorships. But my goodness, every single thing that we do becomes a huge production.
Yes, Stephen, he is. He absolutely is, Salty. He absolutely is. Did somebody...
Listen, I have not had a good rant in a while.
Yeah, and you've just ripped off like 3, and we've only had 13 minutes on the show. Christy wants to go to bed early.
Like 3, yeah,
already, and we're not even 15 minutes into the show, and you've had 3. So, God only knows where we're headed now. Is this just where I'm supposed to ask you about politics right now, and just let you keep on rolling, and just say, you know, what do you think about the way that the Illinois governor's doing?
It's all glitching out.
Oh, perfect way for me to. Oh. It's probably for the best, honestly, that Leroy's going to start having technical problems because he's on one today. He's absolutely on one, and now he's completely frozen. He's completely disappeared. This is such a great way to start the show. Look at us go. I'll tell you what, while he's figuring out his issues, we'll drop in Paul's stat of the week. He sent me a couple this week, and it was kind of ironic or coincidental or whatever the right word is. Last week, you know, Leroy opened up his package of baseball cards, and in there, the first one, or maybe the second one from Paul that he pulled out was Chet Lemon. And Chet Lemon passed away like the next day or something. It was last Thursday or Friday. So Paul's stat of the week is about Chet Lemon. I think Leroy might be back. Are you back now?
Whenever I rant too much, it kicks me out.
Okay, I hope that doesn't kick you. Okay, good. We were just doing Paul's stat of the week, and his first one is about Chet Lemon, which was kind of coincidental that you pulled his baseball card out and he dies in 12 hours. So hopefully...
Only Leroy.
But in 1977, Chet Lemon set an American League record with 512 putouts in center field. 512 in 1 year. That's a lot. We'll have an Eric Davis stat here for you to continue Paul's stat of the week. Eric Davis was the first Major League Baseball player to hit 3 grand slams in the same month in 1987. In 1996, he became one of only a few players to hit grand slams in back-to-back games as well. Reds legend Eric Davis. And then your final one, there he is. May he rest in peace. And your final one is not necessarily a stat of the week, but it is a fact of the week. Do you know the name Mordecai Brown. I'll take that as a no.
Mordecai Brown?
Yeah. Do you know that name?
Three Finger Brown lost
Yes.
in a lawnmower accident.
Oh, is that what happened to him? So Paul sent me, we have a picture of his hand, former Cubs pitcher, Mordecai Brown. He pitched, and he only had 3 full fingers on his pitching hand.
Because his hand looks so weird, he could throw pitches that had wild spin on it that at the time weren't thrown at all. So because of that thumb or pointer finger that wasn't there, he could really put spin on the ball. And because of that, he became he was just dominant. The stories that are written say that the ball had so much movement, we thought it would take off. That was what was written in the newspapers. Like, it was just...
Is that what you read about it back then?
For the time of what it was, it had ridiculous spin.
Yeah, middle finger's jacked up too, Paul says. Absolutely. Steven does say Fernando Tatis Sr. is the best Grand Slam record of all time. 100%. 100%. Will that one ever be broken?
No.
2 Grand Slams in 1 inning?
I don't see it.
Rest in peace, Chet Lemon, though. 100%. 100% well said. Of course, the big baseball news of the week is Pete Rose is now eligible for the Hall of Fame. They've taken him out.
He is, as is Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Amongst the list of, what, about 15 guys?
15 other names, 15 or 14 other names that are on there as well.
Leroy, I asked you, and I think I asked you this, maybe 2 or 3 months ago. Does Pete Rose get in the Hall of Fame?
Does he get in the Hall of Fame? Yes. Yes. I'm really interested in this. And I've said this story before on our podcast. If you are longtime listeners of our show, I've made this, and I hope that I don't cut out when I tell this story, because this is a really good story. But Bart Giamatti was the commissioner at the time that Pete was banned. Bart never had any intention of banning Pete for a very long time. His journal entries show that he only wanted to ban him for a little while, and that once they figured everything out and moved forward and time had passed, that it would be lifted. However, he disagreed with Fay Vincent, who was his second in command, about how they wanted to handle it moving forward. This had never really happened in the history of the sport, and they had a difficult decision to make about what they wanted to do. Bart Giamatti wanted to show compassion and just say, okay, but you're not going to play anymore. We'll let you be eligible for everything. You're done though. You're not going to play anymore. Fay wanted him gone completely. No connection, no nothing moving forward. So Giamatti was all set to meet with Pete Rose to talk about it, and the old man passes away of a heart attack at like the age of 59 on September 1st. Fay Vincent voted unanimously as the next commissioner. Now, Fay didn't like Pete. So Fay said, oh, that conversation that we were supposed to have? Absolutely not. We're not doing that. Bye-bye. So Pete never got it. Bud Selig also stuck with that mantra of, we're not touching it with a 10-foot pole. You're not being allowed in. And I think there was a lot of animosity towards ownership of the commissioner's office and Pete Rose. I don't know if Pete Rose necessarily helped his case at all by being an absolute jerk.
Pete Rose.
By being Pete Rose back. It definitely did not help his case. He showed no remorse later on in those years. And, it's just one of those things where both sides were absolutely stubborn on it. But listen, I am not a big fan of holding out people based off of things that they did. Pete Rose gambled on his teams to win. It wasn't like he was shaving points off of his team to lose. Shoeless Joe Jackson, yeah, you can make an argument that he shouldn't be in because he bet against his team winning. But you take that away, and I'm sorry, but guys like when you look at like guys like Kurt Schilling, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, all 4 of those guys should be in because let's face it, absolutely. And I'll tell you, a big reason why we watched those games were for those players. To me, that is a Hall of Fame category. We watched those games because we wanted to watch Sammy Sosa be great. Our parents watched the games to see Pete Rose be great.
I mean, hanging on my wall, I mean, it's not in this office, but it's on the wall walking into my kitchen, is a ticket stub from 41-92. My mom was there when he broke Ty Cobb's record.
That's a big deal, man.
Yeah, and I mean,
these guys were larger than life. They were legends. Roger Clemens should be as well. Absolutely. Look, these were the people, and really think for a second. You know these household names. Yeah, we're baseball people, so we know a lot more names than the average. If I walk down the street and grab just somebody that doesn't watch baseball, they might be able to give me 4 or 5 of those names. But still, these were the people that we watched. These were the people that made baseball exciting. These were the Ellie De La Cruzes of their generation.
The Shoheis. The
Shoheis. That's why we watched them. Every single eyeball, I felt, and maybe it was just my town, but I felt that every single eyeball was on that Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa home run race. PEDs can't help you hit a baseball. They can help you hit it farther. They can help you hit it farther, but they cannot help you hit it.
You know what I've said is if you're going to let Barry Bonds in, then there's no reason you shouldn't let Pete in.
100%.
Yeah, because it is the. Well, I mean, I was alive for Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire. Like I'm not that young, Paul. I mean, the back end of their careers and so on. But for me, it's just like it is not the Hall of Good People.
Tell that to Tim Raines.
Because if it was the Hall of Good People, Pete Rose would not be in it.
Right. But Ty Cobb wouldn't either.
Babe Ruth might not be in it. And then there'd be a lot of guys that would be in it, probably.
Right. Well, then you start going, what's morally acceptable now may not have been morally, things like that. You start getting into a really fine line of what's allowed and what's not allowed. The whole Curt Schilling thing is ridiculous. I mean, it really is.
He didn't actually cut himself, though. That's all a lie, that story, There's my baseball conspiracy theory that I actually believe. That it isn't. Oh, boy, they're flying over my house now, Leroy. So it's funny. Actually, that's low.
Off the gods.
That's really low. So
I can hear that.
Can you really?
Yeah.
So since I live on the line of flying from Fort Campbell to Fort Knox, occasionally we will hear the planes fly over, and that's a lower helicopter that just came over my house there. Does that maybe give you a flashback or two?
I just that sound of the Chinooks and of the helicopters.
Yeah, there'll be sometimes where I'll be sitting in here and it'll start shaking my house because they fly very low.
Oh man.
But yeah, okay. It's a late night for them, but I guess you got to practice at night because you never know. But okay, back on topic. Did you have something else you were gonna add?
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say with Pete Rose. So you think he does get in? But now here's the question. Does he accept? Does the family accept?
Yeah, because it's all about them.
Because I know, like, Marty Brennaman said, and he knows he was one of Pete's really good friends. They were really good friends of the family. He says he wouldn't be surprised if they tell him,
yeah,
screw off.
Well,
because and as he said today, it is honest. It is sad, and it is a joke that it takes the man to die.
Ron Santo. Ron Santo was a fantastic third baseman. Obviously, I know him as a broadcaster, but when you actually pull back Ron Santo's numbers over at third base, they were amazing, especially given the teams that he was on. They were really, really good. Santo did not get into the Hall of Fame until a year after he died. And I get tired of them waiting for these people to pass away. And hopefully, as much as I dislike the guy, hopefully the Manfred made a good decision with this, that we do start peeling back some of these curtains after these people have passed away, especially if they are, but what? We got to wait 20 years for Sammy Sosa to pass away before he gets in the Hall of Fame? Is that what we're doing now?
I can hope Sammy's got more than 20 years left.
I'm just making a number.
How old is Sammy Sosa? Okay, I'm trying to think here. Okay.
I haven't looked. I would guess 56.
I was going to say 55 was the number that came in my head.
You want to look?
On how old he is. I'll look it up right now. Sammy Sosa. Let's see. He is 56. 56 in November. So we were both pretty good there. I was going to say 55. Okay, are you ready to predict all the NFL games again?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Already, week 1.
What was my record this last year? Probably horrible.
I did go back and check that. That was a terrible idea. No, we're not doing that. Well, okay, Bears Vikings week 1. They get a win week 1?
Where's the game at? Minnesota?
No, it's in Chicago.
Oh, Bears win. Yeah. 1-0.
Mm-hmm. Bears at the Bengals week 9.
No way. Bengals got that one.
No way the Bengals have that one? How are you?
Bengals win.
Oh, I thought that was a no way they have that. Like, I didn't know how you were doing that. If you said the Bears won, you lost, Paul says. If you said the Bears won,
you don't even have a what are you talking about? You know what, though? It is a odd year. So Dak Prescott actually will do decent until week 15.
Week 3, Bears host the Cowboys. Maybe you and Paul need to put a little
That's going with Paul. Thank you very much.
This is the story, too, we have to talk about. There's not much that's funnier.
It's in my tidbits.
There's not much that's funnier, though, than the Cubs being like, oh, he's a Cubs fan. Oh, the Pope is a Cubs fan. And then, nope.
Dude,
nope.
He's a White Sox fan. His mother's a Cubs fan, and his father is a Cardinals fan.
Well, doesn't he have to kind of be a Cardinals fan?
Growing up in that household?
Mm-hmm. Doesn't he have to kind of be a Cardinal fan, though, right? Because
South Side, though.
But he was a Cardinal.
Well, yeah.
Pope jokes. We talked a lot. I mean, we spent a good, 5 or 10 minutes talking about the Pope last week, which was kind of funny.
We did. I'm really disappointed you changed your name back this week.
Yeah, well, I didn't get elected, so I got to wait. I'm no longer Pope Samuel the Great or whatever it was that I think I was. Well, the issue is that my name is the same on this as it is on Jungle Juice. So when I logged into Jungle Juice, it said Pope. And I was like, I don't think I need to refer to myself as the Pope on Jungle Juice. That might throw off some questions.
Yeah, somebody might get mad.
Yeah, that's the last thing that we need there. Do you have your game? I forget what
I do. We'll get that started right now here.
And then you'll jump into your tidbits.
Yep, our game is very simple. I'm going to put up some jersey numbers, and all you got to do is tell me whose jersey, what player it is. That's all you got to do is tell me what player it is. And generally, I pick somebody who's celebrating a birthday today.
Oh,
or this week. That's generally what I do.
Now I'm trying to think. We do celebrity birthdays, and there was a baseball player that Mark mentioned today. Oh, I think I actually, or at least this week. Let me see if, okay. Because Yogi Berra was going to be the person I think who's celebrating a birthday this week, but that's not Yogi Berra.
So a Hall of Famer.
Can you zoom in a little bit?
Yeah. Hall of Famer, 7-time All-Star, 2-time World Series, and an All-Star MVP. He wore the jersey number 24, wore the jersey number 5, and looks like he wore the jersey number 24 and 37. I think that's like the Phillies at the end there. It looks like the Phillies.
Because, yeah, the name that's coming to my mind is not right. I was thinking Pudge, but that's not right.
It is not Pudge.
Is not Pudge. Yeah, I can't even see. Yeah. We zoomed in a little bit, Paul. Hopefully it's easier to see now.
Yeah, sorry about that. I thought it was very big on my screen.
Yeah, it was like a postage stamp on ours. 7-time All-Star. I'm just so bad at these. Is this guy, how recent are we talking?
Give me a second. I'll tell you here.
I mean, you don't need to tell me the exact years, just a rough.
Let me see. All right. So he played from 1964 to 1986.
Oh, gosh. Because Frank Robinson was another name that came to mind.
He had 2,732 hits, 379 home runs.
Oh!
And batted .279 with a career WAR of 53.9.
No, Mike Schmidt, no.
He spent time with the Cincinnati Reds, Montreal Expos, Boston Red Sox.
Oh, I know who this is.
Philadelphia Phillies.
I know who this is.
And finished off his career with the Reds.
Now you're reminding me as to whose birthday is today, and now I remember. I knew that there was a big baseball player whose birthday was today. And this is Tony Perez.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Good job. I was going to use Roy Halladay because it was his birthday today as well. But Tony Perez is the correct answer. This is Tony Perez.
I knew that the 24, I was like, that is a number that I should know as the Reds. So yeah, Tony Perez. Good one. Okay.
Yeah, Tony Perez was an absolute, another one of those guys where I think sometimes we get lost with these Hall of Famers, some of these guys because of their careers. But when you look at Tony Perez's numbers, he never really was dominant. He had only one time where he led in a stat.
We have another one coming over now.
And that was grounded into double plays back in 1979. Otherwise, he really didn't lead in stats, but he was just a really good player. He was just a really good player, above average. And he did play on some very, very good Reds teams. Let's be real here for a second. But I mean, he was a big part of that. The Cuban native was a big part of that. 6 foot, 275 pounds, and really, really big Hall of Fame career for him. Comparatively, according to Baseball Reference, compared to Harold Baines, Dave Parker, Andre Dawson, Rusty Staub, and Luis Gonzalez. So, very good career for him.
Get some tidbits?
I do. Let's get to it. All right, we're going to start things off with the WNBA, Sam. So let's hit the music.
Oh boy, I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for it at all. I think it's that one, isn't it? Is that our WNBA theme song music? I think
that's our WNBA theme song. Saturday features the season's first doubleheader, beginning with a clash of the last two WNBA champions when the Aces take on the Liberty, and then Caitlin Clark will face off against Angel Reese in their first game as sophomores. The Fever played the most games and had the most wins of the preseason, sweeping their 3 games, including Caitlin Clark's Iowa homecoming against Brazil. The reigning WNBA Rookie of the Year may have only logged 19 minutes, but dropped 16 points with 5 dimes and 4 threes, including a 36-footer, a few steps behind the 22 logo on the court.
Does Christy have her Chicago Sky jersey ready for that game?
She is all ready to go, man. She's excited.
I know she loves the Sky.
Chicago Sky went 2-1 in preseason.
Big Angel Reese fan, right?
Big Angel Reese fan, absolutely. She loves Angel Reese, man. She might come up here and kill me.
Mm-hmm. She can't kill me. She can't reach me.
My stuff is all over the place today, so I'm sorry. Aaron Judge continues to have an absolute dominant tear in this first month and a half. He's leading in pretty much every hitting category, period, right now. The Twins have won 10 straight. Cards won 9 straight before a loss to Philadelphia. Atlanta Braves finally reached 500 as they improved to 21-21. Braves fans rejoice. They're still horrible on the road, though.
You starting to sweat a little bit, though?
Yeah, a little bit. My team.
Someone was talking. I mean, like 3 weeks ago, there was somebody on this podcast that was talking a lot of smack. A lot.
Yep. I was. Well, when you start 0-7, you get the right to talk a whole lot of smack.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it's 162 games.
I just hope that it is those. I hope you all both are like 15 games out of the race. You're not making the playoffs, but are within like one game that last weekend. I just because I think that'd be hilarious watching you two sweat through it to games that don't matter, but yet you're sweating through it just based on your bet.
Derrick Henry agrees to a 2-year, $30 million extension with the Ravens. Philadelphia Flyers are closing in on hiring Rick Tocchet as their next head coach. Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher Paul Skeens announced his commitment to play for Team USA for the 2026 World Baseball Classic. He will join Aaron Judge, who was named captain last month. The Bengals have been dealing with a holdout from star pass rusher Trey Hendrickson, who is accusing the organization of not holding up their end of contract agreements since his first-round pick, Texas A&M defensive end Shamar Stewart, is now doing the same, Sam. Your thoughts? Or let me guess, it's not that big of a deal.
The Shamar Stewart thing is a non-story. Is a non-story. And I don't even know why it's a story to begin with. I
thought rookie contracts were set, though.
Yeah, they are. And last year, the Bengals signed their guy in the middle of July. Like, it's one of those things that it's such a nothing story that we didn't even talk about it on Jungle Juice tonight because it's not worth even talking about. The Trey Hendrickson thing...
I figured you weren't talking about it because it was a stain on the Bengals. That's why I figured you weren't talking about it.
No, I mean, because we talked a lot about Trey Hendrickson tonight.
Okay.
And it's a pissing contest. And if you want to hear more of my thoughts, listen to Jungle Juice next week because that's all we're talking about.
Does Trey have a valid point?
It is one of those scenarios where both sides are right. Both sides are right. And the Bengals hold all the cards. And they're going to play them.
Yep. All right. Moving on. Celtics beat the Knicks. Knicks still lead that series 3-2. Indy 500 practice started off yesterday. I was at the race this weekend, had a really good time with my daughter. Now they get to go left 200 times at 230 miles an hour. Tom Brady was announced for the IndyCar ride in the 2-seater. He's going to get a ride from Jimmy Johnson. I don't know whose bright idea this was to have Tom Brady go to Indianapolis with 400,000 people there. The city of Indy does not really care for Tom Brady that much.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see if the Boo Birds come out for that.
Fox doesn't have the rights to that race, do they?
Yes.
Do they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, so it is on Fox. Well, that's part of it.
Yeah, Fox paid a ton of money to get all the rights to all of the races.
Okay, so that's part of it.
And in reality, they moved around a bunch of races so that they wouldn't conflict with NASCAR times. The race at my track in St. Louis has been moved to a night race, so it wouldn't conflict with the NASCAR race going on. But yes, Fox has, and that's why you've seen at games. That's why you've seen Michael Strahan be at some of the races. That's why you've seen this because Fox is making a huge push for which we're other than the commercials being insane. It's been good to have Fox on board. But I find it interesting that they're going to do that. Chris Carpenter announces his retirement in Major League Baseball. Bye.
Chris Carpenter? Chris Carpenter's been retired for a decade.
Matt Carpenter.
Oh.
Matt Carpenter. Sorry, Matt Carpenter.
Chris Carpenter's been retired for at least a decade.
Matt Carpenter. Hey, Paul. I don't have the strength. Never mind.
Yes, you do. Or have you just ranted enough tonight?
The Rockies and Pirates have both fired their manager. What manager do you think, if you had to look at the list of teams, what manager do you think is next in Major League Baseball?
Probably Craig Counsell when the Cubs lose about 30 in a row.
Yeah.
I honestly have no idea. Is there one?
The Orioles are 15-26, Sam.
Yeah. I guess Brandon Hyde. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably that's probably the answer. Yeah.
They were supposed to be a contender this year.
But if you ask Reds fans, Francona should be fired because they're like 5 games under 500.
Oh my goodness! No one's gonna fire Terry Francona after freaking.
Paul says the Braves.
2 months on the job. He's not going anywhere either.
Snicker. Yeah, I don't know. You ready for now? Here's the guy, or you got any more tidbits?
Nope, those are my tidbits. Let's hear who. Now here's a guy.
Now here's a guy for today. So again, if you've never played this segment, I've got a picture of 4 guys. There's a theme between them, and I'm going to tell you what the theme is. And it's a very simple thing. Leroy in the comments. It's a collective game. Like this is not like I'm not keeping score or anything. Here's the theme though for this week. These players all played for the Reds, the Cubs, and the Braves in their career.
Oh, you actually found?
Oh, yeah. I told you what the theme was going to be, so you could have actually gone and done your research on this.
All right, let's.
So I've got this.
Go.
So theoretically, you all should get these all because these all have played for both of your teams. Okay, so you and Paul should. Would you like 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Let's start off with 1.
Number one. We're going to put him in a Reds jersey to open up. I got some Braves pictures and I got some Cubs pictures as well.
Oh.
Does that look familiar?
Clearly, that's Jim Thome.
It does kind of look like Jim Thome, doesn't it? Does this guy look familiar?
He does, but he looks like the guy from the Mets from Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. This guy's a former National League Rookie of the Year.
Paul, what do you think?
This guy did not play a lot with the Braves and the Reds. Played a little bit with the Cubs, more, but not a ton. Not a ton at all. Let's see. With the Cubs, he played. How many games is this? He played 107 games with the Cubs. He played 74 with the. Oh no, more than that with the Cubs. He played 74 with the Reds. He played 164 with the Cubs, and he played in 24 games with the Braves. So not a lot of Braves.
Is that catcher?
No. Former National League Rookie of the Year. This would be, do you have a guess or no?
No, go ahead.
Todd Hollandsworth.
Oh.
Todd Hollandsworth.
Yeah, Hollandsworth played for a few teams, like 7 or 8 teams. Hollandsworth played for Blue Jays?
No. The Dodgers is where he played the majority of his career.
Yeah.
But he was the 5th consecutive Dodger to win the National League Rookie of the Year when he did it in 1996.
Gosh, they had some really good teams back then.
For fun, can you name the other 4?
Mike Piazza.
There you go.
Hideo Nomo.
There you go.
Also, let's see who else was in there.
Ooh, okay. If you do this, I'm gonna be impressed.
All right, so let's see.
One of these guys is a broadcaster now.
Piazza, Nomo. In a row? Did you say in a row?
Yeah.
Holy crap. I don't know. Go ahead.
Eric Karros.
Okay.
Raul Mondesi.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I felt like you probably Karros. You might have pulled out.
Karros, I would have never gotten Mondesi.
2, 3, or 4?
4. Let's go 4.
Number 4. Yep, Steven got Karros. Good job, Steven. Steven's a resident Dodger guy though on the show, so he's got to throw out there. Number 4. You're also going to pull out another one that I've picked as a Reds pitcher. In fact, even that. Look at me being nice enough to tell you that that's a pitcher.
Thanks. It's the left-hander too.
Yeah. It is.
Have to throw a slider into home plate.
God, I didn't realize this guy played 3 different stints with the Reds. Interesting. I'd be surprised if Paul doesn't get this one. He did not pitch a ton with the Cubs at all. In fact, how many games did he pitch with the Cubs? Let's see here. Where is games with the Cubs? Well, I guess he pitched 71 games with the Cubs, so that's a decent amount. Amount of games. 71 games. Sam, you pick guys that not even their families recognize. That's part of the fun. For one, with the theme being Reds, Braves, and Cubs players, I didn't have an extensive list to pick from. This guy pitched a no-hitter. In fact, he pitched a no-hitter for the Braves.
He pitched a no-hitter for the Braves?
He did. And apparently, apparently this is the last Brave to throw a no-hitter, according to Wikipedia.
Oh, my goodness, Paul.
How does he not know this? I mean, also, Leroy, he played in the 2022 Minto U.S. Open Pickleball Championship. How do you not know that? But Paul is correct that that's Kent Merker.
Oh, I remember when Merker played for the Cubs. We were all excited,
Merker.
and then he absolutely played like crap for us.
Kent Merker. Not really. I mean, he 3 point. Oh, I guess that's his FIP. Okay. No, he was good. 71 games and had a 2.55 ERA.
I think the team. What year was that?
That would have been 2004.
So 04 was the year that we playoffs.
That was 89 and 73.
Ran into an absolutely loaded Dodgers team and got our butts kicked.
2 or 3?
2.
Number 2. This one's easy.
A Braves jersey?
Well, I mean, he's played for all 3 teams. Do you know this one?
It's the Speedy dude.
Is it? Who is this? Paul has gotten it correct.
Yeah, I couldn't think of his name.
Grissom. This is Billy Hamilton. Reds legend Billy Hamilton. And
to be fair, he played for the Cubs half a season.
Oh, yeah. And then here's your last guy. And there you go, Leroy. There's your Cubs jersey for this guy.
Look at that awful 1987 jersey.
I just love how big the logo is.
I was just going to say the Cubs logo is massive. Just
it is a
massive on his chest, bro.
Huge logo. This guy played in quite a bit of games for the Cubs. Not a lot with the Reds and the Braves. Played pretty much 1 season for the Reds and the Braves, but played 4 years for the Cubs. Do you know who that is?
Alex S. Gonzalez?
I wish I could pull somebody like that up there because that would be fun. Who wins in a foot race, Hamilton versus Ellie? I think Ellie wins because he's got the stride. Because Billy Hamilton's not that tall. But also Ellie can actually somewhat hit the ball, kind of.
All right, who is it, Sam?
This would be Davey Martinez.
Oh.
Current manager of the Nationals.
Yes.
And the Nationals.
The man who slept with Ryan Sandberg's wife.
And that's how the show is going to go. I think it's probably good that I just go ahead and throw up the old play clock here before we get you into more trouble talking about players and who they sleep with.
Today on Players and Who They Sleep With.
Would you like to ask or answer?
I will ask first.
Okay.
All right, Sam. I don't know if 40 seconds is going to be enough to answer this. I'm really interested in the direction that you go. Well, this is going to be interesting. So, what is the best unwritten rule in sports?
Most of them are stupid. Unwritten rules are so stupid.
That's why I asked you.
Like baseball, the whole if I hit you, that's the stupidest thing. It's the stupidest thing. If he does a bat flip, I have to hit him. Bull crap. Let the kids have fun. Let the kids have fun. And plus, hurting somebody based on that is just stupid. So really, I mean, I guess like one of the nice unwritten rules is like giving them a little bit extra time if they're making their major league debut, or like a curtain call or something like that. Like I really like that the umpire like visited the pitcher when Joey Votto had his last at bat at GABP. I thought that was really cool. So I guess I don't know if that's an unwritten rule, but there you go. Most of them are stupid though.
I like how you went straight to baseball though.
Because baseball is the one that has unwritten rules. Steven says a new segment. No, play clock's one that we do every single week.
No, football does have some unwritten rules. The declining the penalty, like if there's a death or something, where they let them line up with the
Yeah, I guess that's that's
NASCAR has an unwritten rule where you don't pass in the first lap unless it's like a oval track where you have no choice. But
yeah, that's stupid. That's stupid. Leroy, what's your biggest fear?
My biggest fear, death. Dying is my absolute. I am terrified of death. I always joke that if I ever was found like dead with a suicide note, that you need to like investigate because it's not going to be. Christy killed me. That's what it is. So, otherwise than that, if I didn't have a fear of death, I think my biggest fear is probably snakes. I'm not a big fan of snakes. Spiders I can handle. Snakes I cannot.
Like a snake.
Heights I can handle. It's snakes that get me.
See, heights and falling. Fear of falling is one of my big ones. What Steven said, the segment is players sleeping with other players' wives. This is our new segment where Leroy just lists.
That's right, Steven. And today we're going to talk about Bryce Harper and the amount of relationships to his wife, plus the story. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll want to pull your eyes out.
That's probably a good
Which,
time
by
for
the
you
way,
up a little bit.
If you don't know the Ben Zobrist story, you need to know the Ben Zobrist story. Oh my goodness. You want to talk about scandal? Woo!
Paul is right, though. Sam. The Cubs having a worse record than the Braves is your new biggest fear.
After that start, I'll be mad. All right, Sam, what job would you have if you weren't in radio broadcasting?
It's a great question. Just going to let the 40 seconds go out.
He's going to wait till like there's 2 seconds and then say it.
It's a great question. It's a good question, you know. It's a question that the way you worded it is really well done. And it's one that, you know, I honestly, I have no idea. I really, like, I'd probably be in marketing of some aspect. I know my mom has always said that I should go into law, and I'd probably be good at it. But I just don't think I would enjoy doing law. But I could see myself doing sports management or something like that. Like Steven said, analytics. I could do something like that. Like, because I love stats. So I'd probably be in sports management or analytics or something like that. That's not very nice, Paul. You're supposed to be mean to Leroy, not me. Gosh, I think I could at least work at a Mexican restaurant.
He's been mean enough to me for the last, like, it's about time you get 1 or 2 of them.
No, I much prefer it when he just takes shots at you. It's a lot better. It's a lot better that way. It's kind of ironic that you mentioned what your biggest fear is, because my next question is, how are you going to die? No, I'm kidding. But it is something about kind of death related. But if you knew, like, let's just say Friday at 5 p.m., you're croaking.
I had a woman run a stop sign today, and I almost clocked her and T-boned her. So I definitely had that thought for a second.
Can you at least do it like on a Thursday so I have enough time to find a new co-host for a Wednesday? Can you at least do that? Because I wouldn't have been able to find that.
You would keep the show going. You'd have like a 30-second. If I was lucky, you'd have a 30-second. Well, Leroy's dead, so. Anyway, this is our new show.
I don't think we'd even mention it. I feel like, you know, Caleb Sweeney would just be on the show permanently from now on, and it'd be like, wonder whatever did happen to old Leroy. And then in like 3 years, we'd be like, oh.
You'd already changed the song.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like Paul said, the show must go on. The show must go on.
Paul's just waiting for me to die so we can move in and take the seat.
Paul,
we've told you, if you want to be on the show as a guest, we'll absolutely let you be on the show as a guest. You don't got to knock me off in order to be on the show.
Yeah, I thought one of those baseball cards would be laced with ricin or something, you know.
You already have enough hate. You already have enough hate in your heart of normal things that you can easily take my job.
He probably he now knows where you live though, so he does have your address. He doesn't have my address. He does not have my address. But if you did, like, let's say Friday at 5 o'clock, you were croaking. What would you spend the next 48 hours?
Chasing my wife around the house, trying to get into her pants. No, I think I think I would go and try to just see as much of the United States as I possibly. I wouldn't be able to get a passport in that time, but I think I'd drive to LA, try to, drive, and I'd go see as much stuff as I could in 48 hours.
Stop encouraging him. I'm just waiting for that door to fly open, and Christy's going to throw a baseball at your head or something.
I mean, listen.
You're on one tonight. You are. You're on. I mean, your rants. Yeah, Paul did send me a message today. He sent a picture of somebody, for one, that had more bumper stickers in the back of this car than a normal person should have. But it was a Madison County, Kentucky license plate. And he asked me, he said, how close is that to me? And it's probably about 2.5 hours.
You know who has a lot of bumper stickers on the back of his car?
Dave Klamola?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. He used to have a
Kamala Harris love.
Yeah. Yeah. He used to have a President Trump one, but he's taking it off. And all that's left is like the white, like sticky tape on the.
I wish it was going to be like or something, like just where it's like, or true, just at the beginning of it.
Donald Trump.
All righty. It is time now for the. Are your dads political? Probably some of them are political, aren't they? With your dads,
some of them definitely are.
Yeah. It's time now for the next round of the. I guess we're in the Elite Eight, right? Of the most memorable sports moment.
We are in the Elite Eight. That's right. It's time
It's time to
vote.
The bird. It's coming.
The bird.
The Cinderella run for the Randy Johnson bird. See,
we have some
remind me
matchups today.
Remind me though. How did the bird win in round one? Do you remember?
We're gonna go over all of them today. We're gonna go over all of them today. So we've got number 48. They are who we thought they were.
I can't believe that one's still alive.
That beat the Red Sox coming back. Vince Young, leading Texas to win the BCS championship, and it also beat the 28-3 Super Bowl 51. Taking on Michael Jordan's final shot against Utah in the final shot in the Bulls uniform as championship. That beat Tiger Woods finally winning the Masters. It also beat Reggie Jackson, and it beat Luis Gonzalez's World Series walk-off against the Yankees. So they are who we thought they were.
I'm voting for Tiger.
Jordan's final shot.
I'm voting for Tiger Woods because it should have beaten that. So I vote for Tiger. Steven is voting for Jordan. I'm throwing a protest vote for this one.
That's fine, because he's throwing a protest over the Dream Team.
Oh yeah, it'll be coming. I'm waiting for his protest, so I'm going to protest this one because there's no reason that Tiger Woods should be in this. I
am also voting for Jordan.
You can go ahead and advance that because Jordan wins. Like there's no way that I can't imagine Paul is going to vote against Jordan. He does. There he goes. He's voting for Jordan. Okay, so Jordan advances. One vote though for Tiger Woods. Make sure you put that in there.
I will put that in there.
Mm.
All right. Next up, we got Jesse Owens wins 4 gold medals in track and field at the Berlin Olympics, taking on Michael Phelps, winning a record 8 gold medals in Beijing. Jesse Owens beat the butt fumble, Pete Rose breaking Ty Cobb's record, and Mark McGwire beating Sosa's home run race. Michael Phelps beat Lou Gehrig's farewell address. It also beat Muhammad Ali lights the flame at the ceremony at the Atlanta Olympics, and it beat drive into deep left field by Castellanos makes the score.
God, this is tough. I think I'm agreeing with Paul and Steven though. Since I watched Phelps live, I think I give the edge to Phelps. So Phelps advances.
All right.
That's tough. Ooh, that's tough. I think the watching it live is what does it for me.
Man, he was a black guy that got to give the finger to Adolf Hitler. You can't get much cooler than that.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Sam's favorite matchup ever. This might be better than some of the fast food matchups that we had.
Is this the Miracle on Ice versus the Bird?
At the very end of those rounds, as we have number 2, the Miracle on Ice versus number 23, Randy Johnson and the Bird. Now, the Miracle on Ice beat NC State, upsetting Houston. It also beat the Boise State trick play on its way past Oklahoma, and it beat Barry Bonds hitting number 71. Randy Johnson has had a historic run, beating Hank Aaron hitting his 715th home run. It also beat Malcolm Butler picking off Russell Wilson, and it also beat the Dream Team dominating the Barcelona Olympics.
Paul is voting for the Bird.
Steven, don't yell at me. Don't yell at me.
You know what? I think I got to vote for the Bird, Leroy.
Oh, my God. Miracle on Ice.
It's 2 votes for the Bird. 1 vote for the Miracle on Ice. If Steven will abstain, the Bird will advance. He can't vote for hockey. Oh, boy. The Bird.
This is so stupid.
The Bird advances. Oh, boy. Cinderella. The shoe still fits.
Good Lord. Okay, finally, number 3, Jackie Robinson breaks the color barrier versus Cal Ripken breaking Lou Gehrig's record of most games played in a row. Jackie Robinson beat Steve Barton, Willie Mays over the shoulder catch, and 1 yard short Super Bowl 34. Cal Ripken defeated the Astros cheating scandal, Wilt Chamberlain scoring 100 points in a single game, and Kobe Bryant dropping 81 points.
Jackie Robinson.
Cal Ripken.
Wow. Yeah, Jackie Robinson, hands down. Wow, Steven's voting for Ripken. Interesting. But you just have to think, like, I think somebody would have with Jackie Robinson. So, wow, Cal Ripken eliminates Jackie Robinson.
But again, if you're going off the I was there or I got to watch it on TV, I think some of these newer moments hold that.
Leroy, you do realize that the Bird is going to make the championship now, probably.
Oh, I know.
It's going to be Michael Phelps versus the Bird in the championship. The Bird is going to win this.
All right, so our final 4 is Michael versus Michael, Jordan versus Phelps, and Randy Johnson versus Cal Ripken breaking Lou Gehrig's record. So we've got 2 baseball moments, a basketball moment, and a Olympics moment. Honestly, pretty good, guys. Pretty good. We had everything in this tournament. We had basketball, hockey, soccer, football, NASCAR, IndyCar. We had everything in this. So pretty good, guys.
Paul says it has to be Jordan versus Bird. So next week will be the Final Four, and then the championship will be in 2 weeks. So that means that in June we'll start a brand new season. Yeah, I think we do best fast food item, right? I think that might
we are. We are breaking down 64 of the best fast food items available. So we will have all kinds of restaurants featuring everything from the slider to the double-decker taco supreme to the Big Mac. We'll have a little bit of, and Sam's favorite, the Baconator.
You want to know my hot take?
Oh, boy, do I ever.
I don't like the Big Mac.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me. You know what does surprise me? Is if Paul actually picks any of these food items to win.
He's just going to keep voting for the Bird. To me, it's a Thousand Island. So I think I've told this. Everything sucks at Taco Bell. You know what? And nobody asked you, Paul. Nobody asked you. That's
my case.
I think it was last year. You know, I was at the McDonald's, and usually that's my Friday football game meal.
Yep.
Usually because I can get a bigger meal there, and I eat, and then I hopefully don't have to eat until the game is over. But they had some sort of deal. I don't even remember what it was. It was either like I think it was it was like a combo meal for $5 or something on the app. But the combo meal was either a Big Mac, a quarter pounder, or like a chicken sandwich or something like that. And I ordered either a quarter pounder or a chicken sandwich, but they gave me a Big Mac. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be the one to complain. I haven't had a Big Mac in a while, so I'm going to eat it. And the more I ate it, the more I'm like, I really, really don't like this at all. And it's the Thousand Island. I just don't like Thousand Island. It's too sweet. Do you like it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll put it on my burgers sometimes just at home.
Thousand Island?
Mm-hmm.
I just can't do it. Can't do it. We don't have a NASCAR pick for this week because it's the All-Star week. So there's no...
I've got autographs, though.
Oh, that's right. You do. But I will... How about I just drop in the NASCAR updates so we don't have a pick? Last week, I finally had a good week. 61 points for correctly predicting Kyle Larson. John got 30. Paul got 20. Leroy got 13. Mike got 4. The overall standings, Leroy 362. I'm at 344. Paul at 315. John at 205. Mike at 118. Steven has 43. And Blake has 39. Paul says, the last Big Mac I decided to eat. Got down the road, decided to eat it, and there was no hamburger patties on it, and the place was still open because I didn't turn around and burn it down. Wow. Arson. I like it. Okay, autographs.
All right. So we're going to give you these autographs, and you got to tell me the theme for these autographs. All right. So they're all connected. And all you got to tell me is who they are and what the theme is.
Steven, how do you get 43? You got 1.1 week. I don't remember why I gave it to you. And then I gave you points because you picked Rusty Wallace, but Bubba Wallace had a good race that week. So I felt like that was close enough.
All right. We're going to start things off really, really easy.
Okay. Yep. Ted Williams.
Okay. All right. There's autograph number 1. We got a little bit harder with autograph number 2.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, I don't think I got one here.
Hall of Fame class of 89.
Can you, like, where's the first name and where's the last name in the autograph? Use your mouse to show, like.
So here is the first letter. I don't know what this is, but here's the first letter. Right here.
Is that an A?
And this is the start of the last name. Starts with a C.
That's a C?
I'll tell you right now. The first letter starts with a C.
Carlton Fisk. I have no idea. Is that right? No.
No.
I was going to say. Catfish Hunter. I got it. Who is this?
It's Carl Yastrzemski.
I would have never gotten that based on that autograph. Never would have gotten that.
And finally, another fairly easy one for you, maybe.
Lou Brock. Is that right?
Yeah, Lou Brock.
Oh. For a second, I was like, no. I know more I wish that Paul would have known that was Yastrzemski just to see if he could have spelled it in the comments.
What's the theme for this? We got Ted Williams, Lou Brock, and Carl Yastrzemski.
So at first I was going to say Red Sox, but Lou Brock never played for the Red Sox, did he?
Nope.
And they didn't get in the Hall of Fame the same year, did they?
They did not.
No.
They did all make it to the Hall of Fame. I'll give you that one.
They don't all have like 500 home runs or 400 home runs or something, do they? No. I don't know.
They all played a good majority of their career in left field.
Left field. Left field. Interesting. That's pretty good. Yeah, Yastrzemski, though. Pull that one back up. Oh, wait, never mind. You've already taken it off.
Hold on, I got
no,
you.
it's no. Oh, shoot. Now you're gone. There you go. You're back. No, I just am like, how is that a Yastrzemski autograph? Wild. Would you have gotten that?
No. Gosh, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have never would have gotten that. Never. Wow. So last week at this point, this is where
I pulled up all these left fielders, and they all had the most like normal signatures ever. Because I pulled up all the left fielders in the Hall of Fame, and I mean, the list is crazy. So it's Lou Brock, easy signature. Goose Goslin, easy. Ricky Henderson, we've already done. Minnie Minosa, easy. Sam Musial, read it like I mean, Tim Raines and Ted Williams, Carl Yastrzemski, and Willie Stargell, and Tim Raines, which I don't know if I said already, but like all of those were like super easy.
At least Mike Yastrzemski's autograph is somewhat like you can figure it out. That is a naked child behind you, Leroy. Is that the sign that we need to wrap up?
So, no, it's fine. It's fine.
But yeah, Mike Yastrzemski's autograph.
I don't think she was supposed to come in here, but it's all good.
That's a good way to wrap us up. I mean, we don't have a NASCAR pick for this week since it's the All-Star race. Correct.
Now, a couple interesting things about the All-Star race. Kyle Larson is doing both the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600. It's only the sixth time that this has been attempted to be able to do both. The rules for Indy have been changed where if there's a rain delay or if there's something like that will allow him to do both. And if he can't do both, then Tony Kanaan, who is the backup driver for Arrow McLaren, who Kyle Larson's driving for, will take over for him in the 500. Tony Stewart has the record for doing the best in the duel. Tony Stewart finished in third at the Indy 500 and finished in second at the Coca-Cola 600. But no one's ever been able to obviously win both races. But Tony Stewart came the closest. So Kyle Larson will be chasing history. Last year for the Indy 500, he got a speeding penalty down pit lane. That cost him the race there. And then he was barely the race finished and he literally got out of the car and raced, literally ran to the helicopter to fly over to the airport so he gets to Charlotte in time. But so it should be a little bit easier this year. Of course, it's all going to depend on the weather, but just some interesting stuff going on with that.
No, not Tony Kanaan.
Tony Kanaan. Yes. Thank you, Sam.
That's one that I actually did know. That's funny. Well, I think that pretty much wraps us up for this week, does it not? Yeah.
We'll have to see what categories we have for next. We weren't expecting half the categories that we had for this week, obviously with the big Pete Rose news and of course the rigged NBA draft and all the other stuff going on.
Who knows what will tick Leroy off between now and next week?
What social media did you guys do for the Bengals schedule? So the Bears did it where they released a confidential email to all the Ben Johnsons. And so they had to go track down all of the Ben Johnsons to get the schedule back because they sent it to the wrong Ben Johnson.
Yeah, the Bengals, I don't really know what they were aiming for. It wasn't very good this year. They've done some good things over the years, but it didn't hit this year. A little weird. But oh well. That's how it is. Because we live reacted to it on Jungle Juice, and we were all like, what? I don't know. But that'll wrap us up here for this week. We'll be back next week. Who knows what will tick Leroy off between now and then. Final four of the bracket is next week as well. The Birds' miracle run will continue, or will it not? We'll find out next week on From the Pressbox. Have a good week.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Have a good night.